So, if you really think... Okay, I'm dying. So yeah, I had to re-record all this because I actually talked about spoilers. Because I like this. I like talking about spoilers. So, let's get the quick things out of the way. One. I like... A lot of people talk about it. That we didn't just redo the game. If you know this, I'm fine with talking about Season 1. Season 1 I'm fine with. Because... If you haven't watched Season 1, don't watch this review. Because this is talking about Season 2. So, non-spoiler stuff in spoiler stuff that'll be in Season 1 will be in non-spoilers. That's roughly how I would do it. Because I would think that you would watch Season 1 before either watching Season 2 or thinking about watching a review of Season 2. Okay? It's just one thing I realised I haven't said. Because some of the other things about, like, spoilers I've said, but not if it's in multiple seasons. Like an idiot. But they could have done, like, the thing being, like... And also, when I did my original recording, see Twitch highlights or Twitch originals, I did the thing where I'm like, okay, you do this, you could just do the same game and also forgot a couple of games. You could go, okay, let's go to red light, green light, which, yeah, you can see this. I'm fine with saying there's red light, green light. You can see this image up there. I'm like, by the way, what's the first game again? I have no clue. I'm not going to be that much of an idiot. Also, I'm leaning towards here because I'm leaning towards my mic, but technically this is not part of the audio. It's right here. But it's funny that I just lean. You can also then go to cutting out the honeycomb, which I want to make because I feel like that would be interesting and I would like to know what it tastes like. Then you can go to sort of like the bridge. You can go to this, and you can do all of that. And one, they didn't. They changed their format. And how they changed everything is so interesting. And obviously, okay, the one thing that they introduced is, one, this is half the game, in a way. In Squid Game, the first season, it's the entire game. You see people go in, and then you see people go out, and you see the winner of the game. Squid Game is the entire game. Also, I know one person says, oh, and you shouldn't definitely make you shouldn't make a real life Squid Game. I feel like that's the same thing. A lot of people replicate traitors. Should you make a game that represents betraying people? Should you, like, I think there's been a couple of versions of people making a werewolf-like game. Should you make this? Because werewolves is about being very mistrusting and very, like, secretive. And is this series clearly about, like, the difference between the upper class and the lower class? Yes. Does that mean that you can make a fun idea and make it into a game show? Do I think it's very ironic? Yes. I think it's very hilarious that they made an actual Squid Game challenges. You also haven't forgotten the Mr. Beast version, which I also like to point out is hilarious because the whole point of Season 1, because this is before Season 2, I'm not going to claim that there's more heavier ideology talking Season 2, definitely near the beginning, where they don't even do the game. They sort of like look at these people who are settled down. The first game is basically a choose left or right. But sometimes it's like you don't have a choice. You just choose. Like, it's like between lottery or bread is the first game, in a way. And you're like, oh, what would you rather pick? Now health or in the future health? If I take the gamble and look for future health, I could have a chance that I could be better off. So it's not a choice. It's about people who in the higher ups are making the choices for you. And yeah. Also, I'm really surprised that, not for moral aspects, it's same with like The Purge, they do a similar type of thing where they talk about this ideology. But I'm surprised they don't bring up the idea of this being a way to get the numbers out. Overpopulation is a huge problem, and people can say that, like, oh yeah, this will like do this and that. I'm not saying it's morally right. No. But I'm surprised. I don't know if I'm either an idiot or like some things Din said. I know some people are like, oh, they'll just do the same anyway, so who cares? It's just like spreading the wealth. But like, you could make, I don't know, maybe I'm being an idiot, maybe I'm overthinking this. Yeah, I love it anyway. This is fucking awesome. This is fucking cool. I like, because overall they had sort of like 3 games in a way. You had Red Light, Green Light, which is this game, which is Red Light, Green Light. Also, this is way longer than I thought. I thought it would be like 7 minutes, but sure, I have way more to talk about. If this is just 5 minutes, 30 seconds, but hey. You have the second game, which is basically going into the separate rooms and being like, pick a number, pick a this, pick a that. And it's really interesting. Which I don't know why that's based on, because... and then you have the third game. No, that's the third game. Then you have the second game, which is basically the idea of a seven-legged, six-legged race with a couple of like smaller games, and you have to try and beat them all. Being Dutchy, throwing stones, the game where you like pick up small things, try to go and put your own hand. That sounds really complicated. And spinning top, which is so interesting as an idea. That they're like, oh yeah, you have to just beat all the mini games and you have to survive. I also like the idea that, one, the guy with the mask, the really big cool mask, that I actually have a copy of here, the front man. Do I have the front man's mask? Not with me right now, but I don't know where I put it. I think it's somewhere. I know I still have it. It's broken. It's got a bit cracked because it was like a cheap one, but I thought it would be cool when season 1 came out. I don't know. You see like him as one, like you saw like player 1 was the main person in Squid Games. The front man does the same. Also, I love that he flat out cheats and brings himself in later on in the game, which is fun. And I also like the idea that he revealed that you sort of like, he kills one of his friends, which is fucked. I love the idea that this is basically taking him down to the level of, you see, you have to be on like my level. This is how the world works. And it's fucked. Also, I love the idea that there's another game, which is like Red Light, Green Light, which has traffic cones to like this one and a middle one. And I don't know if they're doing this, but it looks like sort of like chicken or something like that. There's a thing about chicken and all that stuff. I don't know why. Because there's railroads and it's like, I know that was a thing. Or is that just me being stupid and people like chicken or running across the road? Because it looks like train tracks and you have to try and cross it over. But I think, like everyone else is thinking, that this is the front man's game. This is the game that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the game. I'm gonna like create. I'm gonna like be a part of the game, and it's so interesting overall because we don't have this story. We know that he was a good man beforehand with a wife and kids, and we know he entered the game at a certain point. But why did he came from a person who's fine? Because we know he became broken up to join the games because you're not successful and enjoyed the games. But I like the idea that, like, what was his games? What were his games? We might never know. We might know 1 or 2. I don't know if it'll be part of ours, because we've had a sort of Red Light, Green Light, and it's weird to repeat it, because the other games don't have a repeat. But hey, I don't know. Maybe we'll run out of ideas being like, hey, we can do that again. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to complain. But it's very interesting what season 3 might be, which is the final season, which is sad. But to be fair, eventually the season had to end, and having season 2 and season 3 basically be one game, and also in a way maybe bring up number 1's game, is I think very fitting in my opinion. So yeah, but yeah, I think this is really fun. This is really entertaining, and I 100% recommend for you to watch it. It's cool, it's awesome, and definitely with certain characters, it looks certain cool. I spoke about this way too much, and they even have a draft version, but yeah, I love it. It is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I hope you like this video, comment your opinion, and I hope you enjoy. So yeah, and good night.